Hi guys, we are the TopLevel group, and it is conformed by Laura Montes Ramírez, Daniela Giraldo Gallego, Karen Onofre, Juan Felipe Prieto Forero, and María Camila Atencio Alzate. Our major is Multimedia and Audiovisual Communication, and we are currently in 8th semester. Today, we are going to review 5 games for the class Multimedia Workshop Animation module, or this class is also called Audiovisual Project Lab, taught by Rigoberto Sáenz Juan at La Sabana University. The first game we are going to review is Free Fire. Free Fire is one more battle royale in the video game market. Its fame is due to its excellent choice of target audience, while other games of the same type, which are very similar, are focused on an audience with video game consoles, PC games, and cell phones with great processing power. However, Free Fire did not begin as a very demanding game for all audiences. The main objective of the game is to reach the highest position each season in the ranked mode. Each game won in this mode gives better rewards, and when ranking up, the bonuses are better. In addition, this mode is the only played by the best players. Since it's an action and adventure game, it captivates many players, so much so that this game has been improving exponentially since its release in 2017. The ESRB classification of the game is mature, for its violent content being a shooter and involving weapons. Since the main objective of the game is to kill opponents, this game is suitable for people over 17 years old. Interesting fact, this game was developed with the Unity engine by 111 Studio and was distributed by Garena. They hold large annual tournaments for the best players and group them into squads by country. Garena is a digital entertainment platform that develops and publishes desktop and mobile digital content. It was founded in Singapore in 2009, and as of today, it exclusively distributes its games through Ganeria Plus in countries in Southeast Asia, Taiwan, and Latin America. Free Fire was the first game they developed themselves, and it was the 4th most downloaded game on iOS and Android in 2018. And finally, in 2014, this company was valued at $1 billion and was ranked as the largest internet company in Singapore. This game has been taking relevant aspects of its competition and integrates it into its game modes that did not exist for a while. Some things to take into account are that later they added glow walls, smoke grenades, camouflage, different outfits, weapon skins, the famous emotes, and many more things. One aspect that invites you to spend more time in this game is its game modes. Among them, there's the zombie mode, squad duel, ranked mode, and some of them are unlocked as the seasons progress. There are many types of soft coins in this game: gold, golden, pink, blue tickets, season tokens, etc. But there's only one hard coin, which are diamonds, and are used for so many things. But the main one is to buy the Elite Pass, which unlocks significant rewards by advancing and playing for a month. A section that is interesting is the customizable controls, which is very useful because today there are so many aspect ratio in devices that this option is necessary. What is really disappointing is the victory trophy after playing, which is a chicken for dinner that has no value in the game. but there is no better feeling than knowing that you are one of the best players. Entering a game against 50 competitors in a pitched battle and being the winner and showing who is the best is an experience that becomes addictive and in most cases requires you to train and train to be the best. And well, there is nothing better than a headshot. Our score for this game is 9.5 out of 10.
Next is the game named Episode. It is a game designed for iOS, iPhone, and Android and can be downloaded from the App Store to the phone itself. It was launched in 2013 by the company Episode Interactive LLC and is a role-playing game for people over 12 years old, although it may be more girl-focused.
There is not an official rating from the ESRB for Episode, but on the App Store it appears to be for people beyond 12 years because it contains strong language and other content for adult people.
The target audience may be young people between 12 and 25 years old. It is a mobile storytelling network and platform. Episode is a very innovative game because it features tons of interactive stories where the user can choose the path of the story. Episode also features interactive Hollywood stories built from the ground up for mobile. The creator company Episode Interactive LLC, located in San Francisco with around 208 employees, Episode has evolved a lot on storytelling. Their first Episode original was Campus Crush on 2014, with an initial art style and visual direction on their launch. On 2015, they released Demi Lovato Path to Fame, where they partnered with Demi Lovato and a Pixar alumnus to develop the story. In 2016, they released Mean Girls Sorority Rush, where they started doing more animation, layering, and establishing shot angles. On late 2016, they partnered with Warner Bros. And launched Pretty Little Liars on Episode, created a brand new art style and explored new tricks with lighting, background effects, sound design, and scene layout to create suspense and mystery. On 2018, they launched The Baby Project and Love Life, where they introduced both new physical features to make each character unique, as well as advanced background and animation effects. The greatest thing about Episode is not only their interactive stories, it is also that you can be a user and a consumer, but at the same time, creator and storyteller. Users can create their own stories and be like little designers or writers. They create the stories, the characters, and the paths that other users could choose when their story is ready. According to their official website, there have been over 7 billion episodes viewed on Episode so far. They have also opened up their storytelling platform and have the world's largest community of interactive stories and storytellers, with over 12 million registered creators and 100,000 stories. Users can choose the stories classified by genres, such as romance, drama, Hollywood, fantasy, mystery, comedy, action, adventure, and thriller horror. There are many stories created by users, such as The New Girl, created by user Sage Mercer, with 39 million reads, consisting of 49 episodes. There is also Loving Beth, created by user Regan Ure and Olivia Briggs, with 31 episodes released. But there are also stories created by the company of Episode Interactive LLC itself, which are very popular on the platform. One of Episode's most popular interactive stories is Demi Lovato Path to Fame, created by the Episode team and classified as drama. It has 3 seasons, every season consisting of 24 to 26 episodes. Let's focus on this story to understand Episode's game mechanics. In Demi Lovato's Path to Fame story, the user will have the possibility to personalize its character and even decide her name. The user can choose the skin color, the lips, the hair, eyes, eyebrows, face shape, nose, and mouth. In this story, the user will be a woman that has recently won a contest that will allow her to go as a fan guest during Demi Lovato's concert tour through the United States. In the story, the character will have the opportunity to sing as one of Demi's backup singers, and Demi will be a special character that will lead her in the path of becoming a new singer. The user can choose many paths, which will lead her to many options in the story. On Season 1, the principal enemy for the principal character will be Sonja, the owner of the company that made the contest. Sonja will try that the principal character always promotes the company, but many times that will go against what Demi desires that the character does, so she will have to choose. On this game, the levels work as the episode for each story, and each user can play an episode if he or she has enough tickets. Every ticket represents one episode that can be played. Every 4 hours, the platform will give a free ticket to the user, and can be filled up to 4 tickets until the user wastes it again. If the user uses the 4 tickets, he or she can buy more, or wait some hours until the platform gives it freely. In the game, there are also gems that can be used to buy objects in the stories. Sometimes there are decisions that can only be chosen if the player pays with gems. As it is a game for iOS and Android, the controls are tactile. The character won't move. The control scheme is of deciding the paths of the story. This is a very interesting game, and it gets a score of 9.5 from this team.
Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout is a battle royale and last man standing game in which players compete online with other 59 players in random races, where they have to run, chase, and outwit the other players. There's a total of 5 rounds where the goal is to qualify in each one of them to be the winner. That is to say, the Ultimate Knockout Champion. According to the ESRB website, this game is aimed for everyone to play since it has a mild cartoon violence. You can play it on PlayStation 4 or Windows PC. It was released on August 4, 2020 and was developed by Mediatonic. Since its launch, it has sold 2 million copies on Steam and it costs 31,000 Colombian pesos. Mediatonic was founded in September 2005 in London by Dave Bailey and Paul Kraft. They were studying at Brunel University at the time and set up the company as a work-for-hire studio to create flash games. The first game that they released was Snowman Salvage, which was a part of Paul Kraft's dissertation. They are also known for developing games like Gears Pop, Murder by Numbers, Hatoful Boyfriend, Fable Fortune, and Foul Play. The thing about this game is that there are no main characters since it's the player who decides how the avatar or character will look like. Besides, it's not like the character design you usually see in other games. These characters are minion-like and they are customizable. The enemies are pretty much everyone else that is competing to get the title of the Ultimate Knockout Champion. However, some of the rounds will make players work in teams in order to advance to the next round. There are 4 modes of rounds that are randomly chosen. The first one is race mode. To make it to the next round, players will have to dodge all obstacles and reach the goal faster than other players. One of the most common rounds in this game is Seesaw, where the contestants must balance across some seesaws to get to the finish line. The second one is Team Mode, which is typically selected after the first round, and players will be teamed up in groups of 2 or 3. One of the rounds that people play the most is Egg Scramble, where each team has to collect as many eggs as possible and put them in their basket before time runs out. However, each team must protect all of the eggs in their basket because the other teams can steal them. The third mode is Survival Mode. Players must meet certain conditions before the time limit. For example, in the rollout round, you have to move between rotating rings and avoid falling into the slime. If you fall just once, you'll be eliminated. The fourth mode is the Final Stage Mode. It's a mix between race mode and survival mode. The difference is that you have to be the number 1 in order to win the whole game. There are only 3 rounds and one of them is called Fall Mountain. Players have to grab the crown by racing with their opponents to the top of the mountain. On one hand, there is no need to have great skills to win this game, because winning doesn't depend only on that. It also depends on the players you're competing with. Nonetheless, experience helps players find tactics to qualify to the next round. Controls are moving, jumping, diving while in air, grabbing, and adjusting the camera. On the other hand, Fall Guys has seasons that run through several weeks and has a list of rewards to gain throughout every season. To gain items, contestants have to play the game and earn fame, which is a form of experience gained by playing. The more the contestants play, the more fame they accumulate. This will allow them to unlock cosmetic items for their characters. Another way to unlock cosmetic items is through the currencies of the game, kudos and crowns. Players get kudos for playing, and if they want more, they'll have to pay with real money in the DLC store, while crowns are collected by winning and through season rewards. The truth is that Fall Guys is so fun and enjoyable, especially if you play with friends because you'll have a great time. You'll want to play it over and over again because every round will be different and will give you some surprises. The gameplay can be a bit challenging because there will always be external factors that make it more interesting, although sometimes it can get a little bit boring if you play the same rounds for a long period of time. The visuals really grab your attention for being so colorful. The characters are funny looking but in a good way, and the costumes are unique, which makes them more interesting. The physics and the animation is very smooth. The characters move awkwardly sometimes, but that was the goal the developers set. The music is a bit repetitive, but it's fun to listen to, as well as the sound effects. The interface in general is friendly and intuitive, and the controls are easy to use. However, sometimes the servers wouldn't load for a long period of time, which is understandable, since the game is brand new and the creators were not expecting the attention it got, and they're probably working on it right now. We give a 9 out of 10 to this game. We totally recommend it.
Destiny 2 was released on September 6, 2017 for Xbox One and PlayStation 4, and later it was released for PC on October 24 of the same year. As of today, the game works additionally for Google Stadia and has been confirmed for the future PlayStation 5 and the future Xbox Series X. It's rated by the ESRB with a teen rating, developed by Bungie Studios, known mainly for being the creator of the renowned first-person shooter Halo Franchise. Before starting, it should be noted that all the points will be based on its current state, August 2020, because it is a game with a live service structure, which is constantly changing as it is a long-term development. Destiny 2 is a first-person shooter game with elements of role-playing game of action that concentrates mainly on the loot. More specifically, Destiny 2 enters the classification of a looter shooter. Besides this, it also collects items from an MMO, Massive Multiplayer Online. In it, the player must constantly improve both their own skills and their character with different weapons and armor to face increasingly difficult challenges. The game takes place in a futuristic and fantastic universe in which humanity meets a benevolent entity named the Traveler. With their help, humanity enters an era of an exponential development, where things like technology, politics, and all kinds of ideas advance dramatically. However, years later, another entity appears that humanity calls the Darkness, and this destroys the Traveler, causing a collapse in all humanity. With his last breath, the Traveler creates the Ghosts. These are small beings that have the ability to revive certain people and grant them superpowers to fight against the darkness and the different dangers throughout the solar system. These people who revive are called Guardians, and this is where the player comes in, who puts himself in the role of a Guardian. Destiny 2 does not have something like main levels. Instead, it has different planets and locations throughout the solar system that the player can visit to perform the different types of activities that the game has. They can be accessed from the destination map that the player can access at any time, and that he can use to guide himself while navigating in these environments. The available activities are divided between PvE activities, player versus environment, and PvP activities, player versus player. With the PvE activities, you can find Patrols, a game mode in which the player has the freedom to explore the locations without any limitation, and can access small submissions that reward him with objects such as materials. There are also strikes. These are a kind of more extensive and complicated missions that always conclude with a boss who has certain mechanics and specific attacks at the end of the strike. that the player must defeat to earn rewards. Dungeons. These are more complex activities that put the player through a series of challenges based on a specific mechanic that must be mastered to advance to the final boss of the dungeon and get the rewards, since this mechanic will be present throughout the entire activity. Raids. These are the top of the cooperative activities and require a team of 6 players to complete and can last several hours. These activities consist of gigantic spaces in which the team has to enter to overcome the more complicated and satisfying challenges that Destiny 2 has to offer. In raids, players will need a great deal of coordination, communication, and teamwork if they want to complete these activities, and if they do, they may get some of the best items in the game. On the PvP side, Destiny 2 has a list of more conventional game modes in which you can find game modes. Control consists of a game mode where 2 teams compete to capture and keep areas on the map while killing players to reach the point limit. Team duels, all against all, private games to compete against your friends, and even a competitive game mode. Trials of Osiris, the best of the best compete to reach the maximum triumph, and this is it. In this game mode there are no respawns. The only way to respawn is to be revived by one of your teammates. In it, 2 teams of 3 players compete to see who is the first to win 5 rounds to win the game. To do this, a team must eliminate all members of the enemy team. Finally, Destiny 2 has a hybrid game mode between PvE and PvP. This is Gambit. The game mode puts 2 teams of 4 players to face each other. Each team will have its own arena and will have to eliminate the enemies from their areas, and once they do this, the enemies will drop some motes. You'll have to collect and store them in the bank to fill a progress bar. Once full, a boss will be summoned and the team will have to eliminate it. The first team to kill the respective boss wins the game. It has an invasion mechanic, in which every time a team stores enough motes, a portal will open. If a player enters through this portal, they will be sent to the enemy's team's arena for a few seconds to have a chance to kill enemy players and thus delay their progress. All these previously mentioned activities give the player different rewards, and these rewards, also called items, have different degrees of relevance. The weapon system has different elements. Types of weapons. Here we can find a fairly wide range of these, such as assault rifles, scout rifles, submachine guns, light machine guns, bows, swords, fusion rifles, and linear fusion rifles, which are weapons that have a charging system that, once loaded, releases a burst of energy projectiles. Weapons boxes. The kinetic slots, where the player can place their kinetic weapon. This type of weapon does more damage to basic enemies that do not have any shield. The energy slot. These weapons have one of the current 3 elemental damages and are specifically used for breaking enemy shields of the same element. Power slot. Heavy artillery, weapons that can do large amounts of damage. However, their ammunition is limited and scarce in most cases. Another very important aspect of weapons is the perks. These are obtained randomly in most cases, so even if you get the same weapon, it is very possible that the performance and function will vary. About armor pieces, these have 6 different categories of statistics randomly generated, and these are intellect, discipline, strength, mobility, recovery, and resilience. All the items in the game have different levels of rarity, and these are from the lowest to the highest: common, uncommon, rare, legendary, and exotic. However, to keep the game level, a player can only have 1 exotic weapon equipped and 1 exotic armor piece equipped at a time. In conclusion, Destiny 2 is a meticulously developed game with a wealth of details that make it an absolutely fascinating world. The construction of this world is impeccable in each of its aspects, allowing it not only to advance in terms of the story, but also to develop feelings and emotions for its players. After all that has been said above, we can only say that all the work and effort to carry out this video game are reflected at all times, and that is why, in our opinion, it deserves a 10 out of 10.
Hi-Res Studios is a privately owned independent video game publisher located in Alpharetta, Georgia. The company was founded in 2005 by Eres Goren and Todd Harris. Their first game, Global Agenda, was released on February 1st, 2010. They are famous game developers such as Global Agenda, Ascent Tribes, Paladins, Realm Project, and Smite. The latter was first announced on April 21st, 2011 at PAX East, its closed beta period on May 31st, 2012, and its open beta on January 24th, 2013. Finally, the game was officially published on March 25, 2014. It's an award-winning action MOBA with more than 35 million players worldwide, according to Steam. The target audience are teens who love the competition and also is perfect for any player who likes strategy games. It's free to play and available on PC, Xbox One, PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch, and Mac OS. The game consists on godlike battles between mythological deities and creatures of legend. Smite presents the MOBA genre in a whole new perspective. Eschewing the traditional RTS-inspired point-and-click model, players in Smite take direct control of their characters via vast keyboard controls and a third-person camera perspective. This playstyle makes the game a much more action-oriented MOBA, where players must manually aim their attacks and skill while strafing oncoming blows. There are currently over 60 playable gods inspired by various mythologies around the world, including Greek, Egyptian, Hindu, Mayan, Norse, and Roman. The basic goal in most of Smite game modes doesn't stray far from the MOBA formula. Two teams battle their way through waves of NPC, minions, and towers with the ultimate objective of destroying the opposing faction's main building, in this case a titan. There are various game modes in Smite. First one is Conquest, the main 5v5 game mode. It features 3 lanes and a jungle area filled with neutral monsters. The second one is Arena, a 5v5 game mode with an open battle area rather than lanes. Each team begins with 500 points and must reduce the other side's to 0 by killing heroes, minions, and escorting allied minions to portals. Next is Just, a 3v3 game mode with a single lane which otherwise plays like Conquest mode. Just can also be played 1v1. Assault is the next one. Similar to ARAM, All Random, All Meat in LoL, players are assigned a random god and fight on a map with a single lane. Next is Siege, a faster version of Conquest. Siege mode consists of only 2 lanes and contains a special siege juggernaut minion that deals extra 2 structures. Match of the day. Specialty matches on a daily rotation is next. Played on a variety of maps with random rule changes such as Battle of the Birds, where only birded gods may be selected. Last but not least, according to IGN, Smite's score corresponds to 8.5.